Greetings everyone, Slizzle466 here, and in today's video we're looking at some of the best wild decks for the second week of the Darkmoon Faire expansion. First up we have Odd Demon Hunter by Willy Dills. This seems to be the way the Demon Hunter's going, being super heavy on the 1-drops, taking advantage of acrobatics, taking advantage of Stilt Stepper to be able to get some extra card draw to seek lethal with this list. Looking at Druid, we start with Malygos Druid. So Malygos Druid got one new tool, Lunar Eclipse, 2 mana spell, deal 3 damage to a minion. Your next spell this turn costs 2 less. And not only does this let you maybe get a bit of board removal, play maybe Juicy Psych Melon or Branching Paths to draw, it can also help you when you don't necessarily have all the spells in hand, but you've done your combo. You've got the Kael'thas on board, so the Lunar Eclipse just helps you cycle to maybe pick up that lethal. Aggro Druid is also incredibly strong. This is the same list that I featured in the Week 1 Best Decks video. It's a pretty solid list, and if you want to have some quick games, this is the way to do it. Hunter makes an appearance in this video of best decks, starting with Reno Hunter. So basically, if you're going to play a Reno Hunter, you probably want to go with a secret-based version of the list. So as you can see here, it is very heavy on the secrets and the mid-game. Not too much greed in the upper end. Basically, your greed is you just stalk a Rexar to get your Zombeasts. And you've got your Dino Tamer brand to try and sneak in lethal. Another hunter list you might want to try out is just a straight up secret mage. So this doesn't have the Highlander tools, but now you have the ability to run multiple secrets in your list and really cause a wave of pain and frustration for your opponent while they try and play around all these secrets. Looking at Mage, we have Reno Secret Mage. So this is a new one. So we're not looking at a Reno Luna's Pocket Galaxy. Reno Secret seems to be the best way to go for Reno Mage decks. So it looks very similar to the Secret Mage that we're used to playing. However, there's a Cthulhu the Shattered in there, which is kind of nice as an alternate win condition. But otherwise, you've got your strong Highlander cards, you've got your strong secret synergistic cards, and this is a very, very powerful list. Might be a new archetype to stick around for the Darkmoon Faire expansion. Quest Mage is still alive and strong. It's not running anything new, it's just the Quest Mage that it was before. But it punishes the slower decks. It does lose pretty hard to the aggressive decks such as Aggro Druid and Discard Lock and Dark Glare Warlock. But if you still like to play Quest Mage, you're pretty good just playing what it was like before. And then Secret Mage, this is the same list that I featured in the Week 1 deck video. Looks like this is not a bad list after all. Alnath has made the cut. Looks like Sage is in here. You've also got some extra draw with your rigged fair games, so this is a good way to go if you want to play some Secret Mage. Looking at Paladin, I've only got one list. It's an Odd Paladin list by Husky. There are lots of different lists out there, but I specifically like this list because I've always liked a little bit of a light pirate package. The Double Divine Favor is okay. I might be inclined to cut back to 1. Also, the Lithraxian is in there. If you don't have this card, I'd hold off on crafting it for now. Maybe put something else in to hold over until you maybe open it up in a pack. But otherwise, this is a very strong, quick way to get Odd Paladin games done. Looking over at Priest, we have Big Priest to start it off. So this is So Big Priest basically they're not running that many minions because of the Blood of G'huun, because Blood of G'huun summons copies from your deck. So as long as you don't draw them, you're in a pretty good spot. So for your minions, you're looking at Vargoth, you're looking at Blood of Gahun, you're looking at Scrapyard Colossus. This list by Evil Devil is also running an Idol of Yashaj, also just gets you a little bit of extra greed. Keep in mind with the palm reading, you can get its cost drop down a little bit, but definitely Big Priest is a deck back in the wild meta. The other list to look out for is Reno Priest. I believe this is just the Reno Priest we're used to seeing. There's nothing particularly fancy about this list, it's just efficient, it gets the job done. It's running Insight, which is great to reduce the cost of some of your key minions or just to help you get an extra Anduin ping in the late game for lethal. And also palm reading is just insane, reducing all the costs of your spells, making your Shadow Reaper Anduin power incredibly more useful than it already is. Looking at Rogue, as much as I love Rogue, I've only got one list to highlight here. It's a Kingsbane list. A little bit of a different Kingsbane list to what I featured previously. It's running the double sap, which helps against the big priests, helps against big demon warlocks if you're running into those. Foxy Fraud has turned out to be incredible, just to be able to get some fast combos off. Otherwise, with Swindle as well for some additional tutoring from your deck, Kingsbane Rogue is definitely happy with its new tools and a very aggressive choice to ladder with. Sadly, I have no Shaman lists to feature. Shaman's in a bit of a weird spot right now, but keep an eye out. You never know what's going to happen as the meta develops. Moving to Warlock, quite a few to look at. We've got Reno Warlock by King's Bounty. This is a pretty sensible list. So when I say sensible, I mean it's not too greedy. It just has what Reno Lock needs to survive and just enough value to be okay against the slower decks. It's running the Sir Finley Grizzled Wizard combo to help against specifically Reno Priest, but it's also nice against Odd Paladin. As for new cards, it's running a Ticketus. If you don't own Ticketus, I would not recommend crafting it personally. It is really fun, but against aggro, it's a bit of a dead card, and also it has the demon tag, which means it gets pulled off your Void Caller, which can cause you problems. But if you have Ticketus, that's great. Bran and Ticketus is pretty hilarious to pull off. Darkglare Warlock, this is the same list that I featured in the week 1 video. It's pretty much the same list that we're used to seeing with the addition of the Revenant Rascal just to disrupt your opponent a little bit. It's a difficult deck to play, so just play it with caution. It's not for everyone, but once you learn it properly, you will fly up the ladder like there's no tomorrow. Discard Warlock is another alternative. So Discard Warlock is not as powerful as Darkglare, however it is easier to pilot. And this specific list, it's a bit more anti-aggro, so it's running the Boneweb Egg to give you some extra board value. It's running one Lackery Fellhound, just again to help against aggro, and the Cataclysm is a pretty cute tech here to help clear a board that's causing you problems. And then the last class to look at is Warrior. Starting with Galakrond Warrior. This is a list that I have featured before, but I do want to report that I tested it myself and went 8-1 at Legend, which was insane. This is pretty sleeper OP. I was amazed at how efficient it was. It's got your Pirate Warrior early game, but then you've also got your denial for the Reno decks with your throwing all the bombs into the decks, and then you just finish them off with your Galakrond. Pretty insane list, highly recommended. Another list that I gave a test run and went 9-3 at Legend was a Pirate Warrior list shared to me by one of my Twitch chatters, Smork. This looks like your normal Pirate Warrior at first, but then you'll see that there are Ferocious Readers in here, which really help because Pirate Warrior does run out of steam, and the Sword Eaters are actually absolutely insane. If you think of PhAwueAckE, it's a 3 mana 3/2 weapon. You're essentially paying 1 extra mana for a 4 mana, sorry, 1 extra mana for a 2/5 taunt with a pirate tag, which is pretty insane. So Sword Eater, really big fan of that one. And last but not least, if you want to get the maximum amount of XP possible, you can play Odd Warrior. This specific list, I haven't tested it myself, so disclaimer on this one, but it hit rank 1 legend, so that's got to mean something, right? But the essential cards that I really like in this list are the Cold Light Oracles and the Brand Bronzebeard, which gives you a chance to mess up Reno Priests, mill their combos, or just basically kill them in fatigue if they're not paying attention. I like the Dr. Boom in here just to get some extra late game value, because Odd Warrior doesn't really have a win condition, so Dr. Boom helps a little bit like that. You'll notice that it's not running the Silas OTK combo, because I don't think that combo is any good. It's awkward to pull off, it requires 3 cards, and it's disruptive because of things like Dirty Rat and such. If you'd like to try out any of these decks, you'll find the deck codes in the description below. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can click the subscribe button, click that bell, and until next time, hope to see you again.